14 years old when we started. Naming the band the Swellers doesn't really give it a lot of longevity. So in our eyes, it was like, this goofy pop punk band like the Ramones or Screeching Weasel or like one of the bands, So we were like, it's a band name. I remember originally, not many people know this, Nick jokingly wanted to call the band the Slurpees because our band would drink Slurpees all the time. And then last minute we decided, he said, what about the Swellers? Sure. What does it mean? Actually, we never even asked what it meant. We didn't care. We just said, oh, that's not a band. We looked online. Cool. So, yeah, it's been a long time. We didn't expect it to last that long.
I guess the only real goal we had was to form a band that was better than the current one we were in, which was kind of just like a silly high school band. Called up our old friend Nate, and he drove 2 hours, and we just kind of started jamming. Had a couple of songs ready, and just so happened to be able to play a show 9 days later. And from then on, we were like, I think this could be a thing. I think that we could, try to play shows every other weekend or something like that, and eventually make a record. And, we had dreams of traveling across the state and playing shows, and we kept our expectations really realistic, which is probably a good thing. And, so it's kind of cool that it started there and ended up, we traveled for a living, playing all over the world. And so, we really had no ultimate goal in mind, but we were always hungry for a little bit more than we had, and I think that's what kept us going from day one, even till, just about a year ago.
My old band, Alucard, was signed to the same label that the Swellers were on, Search and Rescue Records. Actually, I think our record came out the same day, my Everest and my old band's record. And we started touring together right away because we were the only two bands on the label. And so we did about 4 tours with them, I think. We did a lot. And towards the end of, my band broke up because our guitar player went off to play in a Wilhelm Scream. And I was sitting at home doing nothing. And I was like, shit, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden, Nick and Jono got a hold of me and said that Lance, the bassist at the time, was leaving the band. And this was a week before a tour with Less Than Jake. And I was like, absolutely, I'll play bass. And so Nick came over to my house, actually gave me a bass because I don't have one. And I just sat there for a week straight learning the songs. And so I went on the road with them. We did that tour, and then right after we got home, the guitar player, Garrett, said he didn't want to be in the band anymore either. So I was like, well, great, because I'd rather play guitar, and I'm a guitar player. And so that's how that happened. And now I'm the guitar player.
Planning to the first ever American tour that my old band did was to support the Swellers and Fireworks. And I remember, I don't know if this is like everybody that has done this, but anytime I went on a tour and I didn't know who the band was, I'd listen to their music, and if it was like so good, I would just be so judgy, like, this isn't that great. And then when we'd go on tour, they'd always end up being rad dudes, and obviously I did like the songs. I was just jealous that I didn't write them all. But yeah, so I had heard of them because my first ever tour in America was supporting the Swellers. After that tour, I think their bass player was like, you could tell that maybe he was on his way out. And Jono was sort of hinting, he might remember this, they might remember this like completely differently, but he had like, he was kind of like throwing the idea around of me joining, and I couldn't and wouldn't because I had put so much time and effort into my other band, and then shortly after, our drummer, he ended up quitting our band to join another band, and then I was just stuck with nothing, and I was like just miserable because I had like, we just kind of connected, me and the guys in the Swellers. And then, from what I've been told, I went to go see Brand New with a friend of mine who was playing with them, Bri Robinson. And he had told me that I just ended up telling him this whole story about, like, you know, my band's breaking up. I don't know what I'm going to do now. And I was devastated because we'd put so much work into it, and I loved touring, and I was still young at the time. And then a few days later, he called me and was like, dude, Brad just quit the Swellers, or like got fired or whatever. He's like, call Nick right now. Just stop what you're doing and then just call Nick. So I was like, oh shit, okay. I called Nick and we started chatting for probably a good hour. And then he called me back and was like, we wouldn't mind having you come out, but because you're Canadian, like, it's just gonna be kind of a pain in the ass to deal with that shit. And we have a guy at home who might do it. So, you know, if he doesn't want to, then maybe we can sort something out. And then that dude didn't want to do it for whatever reason. They called me back and was like, how soon can you, like, learn the songs and come down here? And I was like, I don't know, 2 weeks. And he's like, can you come in like 3 days and play a show? And I was like, yes, I can. So I learned everything I could in a matter of a couple days, drove down, played, and then we went out on tour to see if the chemistry would work, because it's got to make sure you get on with everybody. And then yeah, everything clicked, everything worked, and then they asked me to join in California of all places, and that is how I became a member of this band.
It's usually the Swellers who. Thanks for figuring out who we are, whether you've known us for the last 5 minutes or the last 5 years or the last 13. You guys are fucking cool. This song's called 2009.
5 years ago, Kirk, the original tour manager, he owns a touring company called On Dry Land, and the guys booked him, and he's one of my best friends. I've known him for a long time, and he was like, I'm working with this band, they need a merch guy. And I was in bands and stuff before and toured a little bit, so I was like, yeah, I'll do that. Never, to be honest, hadn't heard of them before. I thought that they were a different band, but I didn't care. I just wanted to go on tour, and I think that was December. Oh, was it December? Or late 2010, anyway, maybe, or mid 2010. But yeah, it was just completely an accident, I suppose.
I first got involved with the Swellers only last year, but we've been working with the Swellers as a tour management company for years now, and they've become one of our sort of babies, you could say, one of our family bands. Yeah, so I got involved with them last year, and I was in for a shock because they're a load of crazy nights.
So, by the way...
that's okay.
Oh, cool, just having a conversation?
Yeah, you know what I am? What are we gonna do, fucking fire me?
Yeah, probably at the end of this tour, fucking no more shows.
Good! Just guess what? I quit.
Okay, will you at least play like the next few?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Me, I will too, but then I'm done. Sorry, we have this happen a lot.
We are so fucking funny. You have no idea.
If you guys wondered how much money like the Swellers have made in the last 13 years, it's like 3 pairs of shoes each. That's pretty much what we got out of this.
You see these? Do you fucking see these right here? I got that for free!
Yeah, we were in Brazil with Store of the Year, and we're just all of us had different points in life where we got like offered some things that a little better than touring, like jobs back home, and Nick got married and stuff like that. So that was kind of like just in the back of our heads. We had a conversation, and then after that we did a European tour, and we ended on a really high note in London. And we're just like, man, can't really. Our band's probably not going to get any bigger. We're not playing to less people, so we should just go out while we're on top, and just, we don't want to drag it out too long and have like 4 or 5 people there at our shows, and we're just miserable. So let's just end on a high note.
You could just tell the vibe wasn't like, oh yeah, this will be awesome, let's do it. It just kind of went from that to like, that could be cool, and we're just going with emotions. And we all came to terms with, if your heart's not completely into something anymore, people will know, and it's not fair to them. So it's not like I always feel bad when people who like our band are like, oh, I wish I came to more shows, I wish I got. It's like, it's not anyone's fault. Like, we're the ones who don't want to, we don't want to just be like a floater of a band. Like, yeah, we'll just drag this on for 10 more years. You know what I mean? It just didn't feel right.
That's slowly where the talks started to come. We're just like, I think we've done what we can do, and we're all getting older. People are getting married. To make money in this world, you need to be out on the road, especially for our type of band. You need to be gone like 9 months out of the year. And I think everyone was just kind of tired out. And so, yeah, we were just like, okay, I think we're going to let's maybe end it. Let's break up. And I don't know, it hasn't really sunk in yet for me. I think I had some emotional moments, like in Detroit. I got a little caught up with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be strange. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm like excited. It's a funny thing. It's like when you go on tour and you come home, you're so excited to be home, and you like, the whole time you're on the road, you're just like, God, I can't wait to just sleep in my own fucking bed, blah blah blah. And then you get home and it's just like, fuck this, I don't want to be here, I just can't wait to get back on the road. And honest to God, that is a cycle that just never leaves. It's just always like that. It's always been like that for me. So now that it's coming to an end, I don't know, I've done a band breakup before, so I'm like not too like sad, but I'm just saying that now because we still have like a week left. But yeah, I don't know, I think I'll be okay with it. It'll be sad. I loved playing in this band because everybody's just so good.
It's still, to this day, I feel a sense of relief, and also just kind of like an awkward sadness, because I still don't feel like I'm gonna be really sad when the band's done. I'm gonna just feel like we did a great job and got to do a lot of stuff, and we ended it the right way. I mean, that's really the best way I could look at it. But yeah, just today I was thinking about like our last song. Like when we play our last song on this tour, that's gonna be like the last one we play on stage together for, who knows how long. And I was like, man, that's gonna be weird. And not so much like, oh, I'm gonna miss these guys, but like just my brother. The fact that we started playing music when we were 9 and 10 years old together, and then we built up until we made this band, and then we saw the world together. And then that's the last note we're gonna play together as the Swellers. It's like, that's a pretty big moment. That's kind of crazy. So, I can't help but be, excited and glad about everything that we did. But at the same time, it's just like, man, like, I can't believe that's it. Like, when you're done reading a really good, fun book, you're a little bit upset. You want more. And
people have been asking us, like, why is the band done? And I guess it's just like, why is the book done? Why is that the last chapter? Sometimes that's it. Sometimes you write the last word and you put the period there and you close it. And that's what we decided to do about a year ago. We did our last London show. And we were like, man, that was so much fun, let's break up. That was actually the talk that we had. Cool. Yeah, we're playing our last show in Belgium at Gross Rock, so if you want to come see us play for like going to that. I like it. It's a festival. We get to play like 6 songs. It's going to be great. But instead of doing an encore tonight, I'm just going to stay up here and talk for a while. And just tell you guys how much I've loved being in this band for 13 years. How much we've loved coming to the UK and Europe for the last 5 years. And whether you've known about us for the last 13 years or the last 13 hours, we are so glad that you guys are here sharing this with us, because we're never gonna fucking forget it.
It wasn't shocking, not because you see anything, but it's just the guys have been talking about it for a long time. I think a lot of the tours that were done recently were kind of, is this going to be the last one? Is this the last time? You know, and especially because some of the shows were rough. Some of the tours weren't the best tours in terms of, you know, who we were touring with and who we were playing for. So it's kind of like, yeah, you know, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, which is the exact opposite of this tour, which is kind of like, this is why you should be doing it, and it's the last one. But yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, more for me is that I see these guys periodically, you know, once a year, and that's gone now. Now it's like I have to make an effort to see them. I'll have to go, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to go to America still, so, because I was thrown out of it. But yeah, I'm just gonna miss my friends.
I think the thing I'm going to miss the most is just the constant traveling. And one of the weirdest things in the world is getting a group of friends in every city all over the world. And that sounds like a total like toot my own horn kind of thing, but it's totally true. I don't know if this could go in it, but we met you and we've been seeing you every single time we come here. And like, when you first go somewhere, it's really strange and foreign and it feels uncomfortable and it kind of sucks and you want to go home. But the more you go there, it's like home. And that started happening overseas for us too. So I think the thing I'm going to miss the most is getting to personally stay in touch with so many people. Because you don't have to do the awkward internet thing like, hey, how have you been? Cool. All right, well, I'll comment some other, you know what I mean? So that's why, at least like for me, social media is a big deal. But part of my life is doing that stuff in person too, because I physically get to see those people a lot. So I'll miss like the constant travel and all that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna miss probably 20% of all of this, and then I'm really not gonna miss the other 80%. Just, I think a lot of the hurry up and wait, the actual traveling, not being able to eat and sleep when and where you want to all the time, that's all stuff that adds up, and that's a huge part of the day, part of the tour. It's pretty ridiculous, but like the 20% that I'm gonna miss are, you know, playing on stage, performing, and hanging out with all of our friends that we've made. I think that's one thing that I'm probably, the parts that I miss, I'm going to keep doing. And the part that I'm not going to miss, you know, I'm going to try to eliminate that the best I can in the future. So, you know, I'll still be performing in one shape or form, and definitely trying to see all my friends from all over the world. I mean, I don't think you can go around the world for 9 years, make all these friends, and then suddenly just say, oh, cool, I'm never going to see any of you again. So, you know, even though I won't be touring 9 months out of the year, I'm going to try to at least make it out everywhere, at least, you know, once a year, once every 2 years, just to kind of visit, you know, just, there's just too much invested in my life all over the place now. So that's the part I'll miss, is just knowing that I'm going to be somewhere. Because as soon as I get home from this tour, there's no knowing when the next time I'll be here is, or, you know, Australia, or, you know, Europe, or even the west coast of the United States. So, yeah, that'll be the interesting part to figure out. But I have some time to figure it out, I think.
Well, I'm going to miss definitely coming to all these different cities all over the world, getting to see all like places that I never thought I would ever get to see, and making friends along the way. It's like a whole different family. We have a tour family, we call it, you know, and at one point I saw them more than, you know, my friends and family back home, which was crazy. And also all the good food and beers that we get to try. That's always like a highlight.
I'm going to miss seeing all the friends that we've made throughout the world. That part's gonna, because you know, you always have good intentions of like, yeah, we're gonna stay in touch, but everyone's so busy, and even to send a text, I feel sometimes it's just like becomes a chore. Like when I came out here, even though Jordan drives me absolutely fucking crazy, I love seeing that stupid idiot and getting to see Paul over here. It's always nice. So I'm gonna miss that. I like going out and having a beer somewhere just where you never would have thought you'd ever be in a million years. You know, like we're so lucky to have been able to travel and see what we've gotten to see and be where we've gotten to be, and just getting paid to do it. You know, it's the coolest thing in the world. So yeah.
Laughing. They make me laugh more than any band I've worked with. I haven't laughed so much on tour than when I have with the Swellers. So that's probably my favourite. And that that really, yeah, just the constant singing and noise.
And what one you miss?
That.
Hi.
Hey.
I won't miss Onto because he's too loud.
Oh yeah, right.
All the time. I mean, we'd have a 4-hour car journey and I'd have Onto and Jord in my ears screaming variations of their own Queen songs for the entire journey, 24 hours a day, wherever we are, be it in a van or in a hotel. But yeah.
One individual called Anto, because he annoys me extremely. No, I won't miss that, because we do annoy the living shit out of each other sometimes. But it's just the kind of living on the edge of like real life. You know, you sleep on floors, which is fine, you can sleep anywhere, but some of them are just horrible. You know, you can have a bad shower, but sometimes you have the worst shower of your life, and it really makes you think, you know, why am I doing this? Which doesn't happen all the time, but when those moments happen, it can kind of make you think I need to do something else. But just that, I suppose.
Oh, I'm not gonna miss sleeping on floors. I hate that. I'm too old for that shit right now. Sleeping in a van, the drives, the ungodly hours, and hearing Anto scream.
Now I feel great! Woo! Check 1, 2, hey, hey! Check, hey, hey, hey! I just got a text 'cause I'm so fucking cool. Check.
And Jordan, he sucks. No, just kidding. Yeah, and the smells aren't pleasant.
I think one thing that's weird for our band that a lot of people don't really get, because we're not breaking up because we hate our band or we don't like people or whatever. We've just been stuck in this weird middle rut, and the thing that I'm not gonna miss is having that, I guess, like the baggage attached to our name, because every time someone says, like, people have already developed an opinion on us by now, and if they haven't listened to us, they're not going to start listening to us, you know what I mean? So having that stigma as a band, whether it's like trying to get on tours or whatever, I'm not gonna miss trying to get people to help us out anymore.
I'm not gonna miss being gone for so long. I'm not gonna miss sleeping on shitty floors.
What won't you miss? Floating in. It's like stuck on a fucking chair. God damn it anyway. This is the part I'll hate. That I won't miss.
I'm in a band called Braided Veins, and that is kind of this weird hardcore punk thing. Some of the guys are like 38 years old, they're like over 10 years older than me, so it's not made to be a full-time touring band, it's just a fun, weird project. And I'm working on another band right now, and that's gonna kind of be my like, let's give it one more go kind of thing, see how it goes. And then in between that, trying to play drums for another band, writing for magazines, and pretty much anything I can write about music, I'm trying to do. And then if none of that pans out, get a random job and be an adult. So we'll see what happens.
Oh man, I have a long time to think about what I'm gonna do musically next, so definitely not gonna rush into that, but I'll always have songs. I'll always have songs going. And I mean, I have a recording studio at home, so I record a lot of bands, produce bands. So that's kind of my day job. Really into fitness, so personal training, doing online training. I have nickdiener.com going now, so that's just kind of everything that I do rolled into one website. And yeah, just trying to adjust into adulthood and hang out with my wife as much as I can. She's pretty excited that I'm coming home and staying home. She's always been really supportive and awesome, but you know, now she's kind of like, you know, I'm really glad that you're coming home. And I'm like, you know what, I am too. So I guess yeah, we're just gonna take it day by day and, you know, have as much fun and try to enjoy free time. And this is the first time in my life that I can really remember that I'm not counting down the days till I leave again. So when I get home, I could kind of unpack the suitcase for the final time.
Well, I became a licensed electrician, so I have that, but I have a lot of friends that are telling me that I need to like start improv classes and kind of stuff like that. So I might go and take some classes at UCB. I'm gonna try to become an electrician on like TV movie sets. Might make my way down to Brooklyn to do that. And I plan on just shooting a whole bunch of sketches. I like making people laugh, and I enjoy writing sketches that I think are funny. I don't know that anybody else does, but I enjoy that. So I'm just gonna dabble into that and have the electrical part in the background, just because I can always fall back on that. That was my big thing. Like, you know, my folks were just like, you can't do anything or go anywhere unless you have something to fall back on, and that's always been there for me. I come home from tour, and the next day or the day of, I'll just go straight back to work. But yeah, I'm gonna venture into maybe something like that. And then, of course, if a band were to come along, if somebody needed help with anything, I would consider doing it again. I think home is getting more like comfy cozy, but yeah, I might look into doing that again. But again, yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm in the pizza biz back home, and I've been working that job since high school, and it's always been the job that allowed me to go and tour and come back and just have a regular job. So now I got offered to buy some stores with some friends and stuff, so hopefully I'm going to try and do that. And let's see, I'm getting married, and I also started a new band with some friends back home, and yeah, that's about it. Just looking forward to relaxing and having a good time at home. If you would have told me back in high school that I would be touring with like some of my favorite bands like Strung Out and Less Than Jake, you know, getting to see Rancid at festivals, like my head would have exploded. So just the fact that I got to do that and travel all over, that is like, to me, is like the best thing. I've checked everything off my bucket list musically.